High in the Himalayas lies Kashmir, a land of serene lakes, lush valleys, and snow-capped peaks. For centuries, poets called it paradise on earth, but this paradise is also a flashpoint claimed by three nuclear-armed nations: India, Pakistan, and China. Their armies face off across fortified borders, making Kashmir one of the world's most dangerous places. The conflict has raged for over 7 decades, claiming tens of thousands of lives. For Kashmiris, daily life is shadowed by violence and uncertainty. The roots of this peril trace back to the birth of modern India and Pakistan. Historical grievances, fierce nationalism, and complex identities fuel the dispute. Looming over all is the threat of nuclear war. A single miscalculation could trigger catastrophe. The world watches, hoping this fragile paradise doesn't ignite a global crisis. What began as a local dispute now involves regional dominance, strategic corridors, and vital water resources. Kashmir stands at the crossroads of history and great power rivalry. It is a beautiful but fractured land, forever on a razor's edge. The Kashmir conflict began with the chaotic partition of British India in 1947. Hundreds of princely states had to choose between joining India, Pakistan, or remaining independent. Kashmir, with a Muslim-majority population and a Hindu ruler, was caught in the middle. Pakistan believed Kashmir belonged with it. India saw its inclusion as proof of secularism. The Maharaja of Kashmir hoped for independence, but his plans unraveled when tribal militias from Pakistan invaded. Facing collapse, the Maharaja turned to India for help. India agreed, on the condition that Kashmir accede to India. The Maharaja signed the instrument of accession, and Indian troops arrived in Srinagar. Pakistan immediately contested this move, calling it illegitimate. This act became the original fault line of the conflict. The accession, signed under duress, set the stage for decades of war and mistrust. Kashmir's fate was sealed not by its people, but by the ambitions of its neighbors. The seeds of a long and bloody dispute were sown. The tragedy of Kashmir had begun. Indian troops' arrival in Srinagar sparked the First Indo-Pakistani War. The dream of a unified or independent Kashmir died in the violence of 1947-48. The war split Kashmir in two, creating a bitter division. India took the issue to the United Nations, which called for a ceasefire and a plebiscite to let Kashmiris decide their future. The ceasefire left Kashmir divided. India controlled the populous valley, Jammu and Ladakh. Pakistan held Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. The ceasefire line, now the line of control, became one of the world's most militarized borders. The promised plebiscite never happened. Each side blamed the other for the deadlock. The core question of Kashmir's status remained unresolved. The division hardened, sowing seeds for future wars. Kashmir became a land split by barbed wire and suspicion. The people's voices were lost amid diplomatic deadlock. The conflict's foundation was set in stone. The 1949 ceasefire was only a pause. In 1965, Pakistan launched Operation Gibraltar, hoping to spark rebellion in Indian Kashmir. The plan failed. India responded with force, leading to a short but intense war. Another ceasefire restored the status quo, but nothing was resolved. In 1971, India and Pakistan fought again, this time over Bangladesh. But Kashmir saw heavy fighting. India's victory led to the Simla Agreement. Both sides pledged to settle disputes bilaterally and respect the line of control. The Cold War deepened the conflict. Pakistan allied with the US, India with the Soviet Union. Superpower rivalry fueled an arms race, making peace even harder. Kashmir became a pawn in global geopolitics. The region's fate grew ever more entangled in the ambitions of others. By the late 1980s, political alienation in Kashmir reached a breaking point. The 1987 state elections, widely seen as rigged, shattered faith in democracy. Frustrated youth crossed into Pakistan for arms and training. Protests turned into a full-blown insurgency, with groups fighting for independence or merger with Pakistan. India responded with massive military force, turning the valley into a war zone. Tens of thousands died, militants, soldiers, and civilians alike. Human rights abuses occurred on all sides. The exodus of Kashmiri Pandits marked a tragic chapter. Daily life became defined by checkpoints, curfews, and fear. The economy collapsed, and generations grew up amid violence. Kashmir's paradise was lost to a cycle of bloodshed. In 1998, India and Pakistan tested nuclear weapons, transforming the Kashmir conflict. The dispute was now a nuclear flashpoint. Any skirmish risked global catastrophe. Nuclear deterrence was supposed to prevent war, but in Kashmir, it made crises more dangerous. Pakistan's policy of first use lowered the threshold for nuclear conflict. Every crisis since has carried the risk of escalation. Both sides developed missiles capable of striking major cities in minutes. Command and control concerns add to the peril. The nuclear shadow hangs over every decision. Kashmir became the world's most dangerous standoff. The stakes have never been higher. In 1999, the Kargil War erupted, just a year after both nations went nuclear. Pakistani soldiers, disguised as militants, occupied strategic peaks on the Indian side. India launched a fierce counteroffensive to reclaim the territory. The world watched, fearing nuclear escalation. US-led diplomatic pressure forced Pakistan to withdraw. The war proved nuclear weapons didn't prevent conventional conflict. Trust between India and Pakistan collapsed. Kargil set a terrifying precedent for future crises. The Kashmir conflict isn't just about India and Pakistan. China is a key player. After the 1962 war, China controls Aksai Chin, claimed by India as part of Ladakh. China and Pakistan are close allies. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor runs through disputed territory. India objects, seeing it as a violation of sovereignty. The India-China border, the line of actual control, is poorly defined, leading to frequent standoffs. In 2020, deadly clashes erupted in the Galwan Valley. Both sides have since built up troops and weaponry along the frontier. 3 nuclear powers now face off in the region. Kashmir is a volatile chessboard with global stakes. In 2019, India revoked Kashmir's special status, splitting it into 2 federally administered territories. The move sparked anger in Kashmir and condemnation from Pakistan. Critics say it stripped Kashmiris of their rights and identity. India insists Kashmir is an internal matter. Pakistan calls it disputed territory. The gulf between their positions is unbridgeable. Lasting peace requires addressing the fears and hopes of all sides, especially the people of Kashmir. Proposed solutions range from autonomy to soft borders, but deep mistrust blocks compromise. Nationalism and history keep the conflict alive. Until genuine dialogue begins, Kashmir remains a captive land. Its future, like its past, is clouded by uncertainty and unresolved dreams.